Hello, everyone. It is Monday evening. It is 7 o'clock here in Central Standard Time. I'm really just jumping on really quick because I had something as normal like that. Sorry, my dog's in the back, you know. Wanted to share, right? So today, actually, a couple things I wanted to share. First of all, please raise your hand, metaphorically, literally, whatever makes you happy, if you have days that don't go anything like you planned, right? So instead of doing like all the things I had planned today, I had to drive back and forth to Austin later in the day. It's a whole other story. Like literally, it was almost like going to Dallas and back because it was the other side of Austin. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make the most of it on my drive back. On my drive there, I had my husband. On my drive back, I did not. So I was like, I'm gonna finally Oh, thank you, Kate. Yeah, I love Kelly Ray. I'm so freaking obsessed. It's out of control. So it's like I have my own little living gallery to her. I'm trying to get out of the freaking way. And I can't wait to get more. Like I have bookmarks. It's out of control, but in a good way. Anyway, so there have been a lot of little bit of backstory here. Sorry, heads peeing everywhere. I love the life that I have, right? I feel super blessed. But I'm not where I want to be. Just be straight up real with you. In so many areas, I'm not where I want to be. And I've been having this conversation with a few people. It's one of these really obnoxious points in my life where I'm like, okay, I know what I want. Why the fuck am I not doing it? I would like to lose weight. The fuck am I not working out? Like for real, right? Why am I still making some less than good nutrition choices, though I've mostly gotten back on track? And it's this whole feast or famine cycle, whether that's in your business, your finances. For me, y'all straight up, right? For me, it's in building the business I want to build. It's in securing the finances and the freedom that I want. It's in my own self, like health and nutrition. It's this cycle, and I'm so fucking tired of it because I cannot figure out for the life of me why I'm just not doing what the fuck I said I'd do. That blows my freaking mind, y'all. So I was like, you know what? I am going to, because I do a lot of self-reflection and introspection, and I journal, and I do a lot of these things, but it's really just not getting me where I want to be. And I know that's me. I want to make that super duper freaking clear, right? I made a post. You have exactly the life that you want. If I am not where I want to be, it is 10 million, 100,000, however many you want to comment percent on me. I'm doing that. So why? I had another book on deck that I was getting ready to read. Something I think it's called like Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. But I was going to listen. I was going to do Audible. I've lost a little bit of trust with Audible. It's not Audible's fault. But the last book that I tried to listen to that I was really excited about, y'all, I had to quit a couple chapters in because I literally could not even with the narrator. There were mispronunciations of words and just the way he spoke I couldn't do it. But I've talked a lot about one book and one author that I'm obsessed with, Gary John Bishop. He wrote Unfuck Yourself. It's get out of your own head and get into your life, something to that nature in the subtitle. And what I always say is, and I say it almost exactly the same way every time, if you like listening to books, or if you're even willing to give it a shot, old boy is Scottish, and he narrates it himself, and he's brilliant. And he's come out with a few additional books. And so one of them is called Stop Doing That Shit, and it's all about self-sabotage. Okay? Right, Megs? I'm such a bougie bitch when it comes to Audible and who's narrating my shit. But I'm fine with that. You would love Gary John Bishop. You would love him, Megs. Actually, anybody in this group would love him because you're in this group because you're awesome. Anyway, it's called Stop That Shit. And it's not a super long book. Audible-wise, it's about 4 hours. Reading-wise, depending on how fast you read, anywhere from 2 to 4. I know that's a big range. I've taught myself how to speed read, so there's that. But I started listening to it on the way home because I was like, I can get through a majority of this if I so choose. And it's about self-sabotage, okay? We self-sabotage all day, every day, even if you're like, nuh-uh, I don't. Bullshit. Yes, you do. You just don't know it. And that is why we can't answer those questions of, why am I not doing what I said I'd do? Why am I not getting up when I said I'd get up to go work out or go eat a good breakfast or go do my journaling or my, why? I said I'd do it. I said I want it. So why am I not doing it? Right? I haven't lost weight because somewhere in there, I don't want it bad enough or there's something that I'm self-sabotaging. That's just point blank fact. Okay? So now I'm trying to dig into what the fuck is going on. I talk a lot about how powerful your subconscious is, and so something's going on back there, and me and my subconscious, we need to have a for real sit down, okay? So I started this book, and I wanted to share a couple of gems with you that I've already come upon, and I'm only on chapter 5, right? Because I wanted to do the work in the book, so I chose not to listen further because I wanted to stop. I'm a huge nerd, as you all know. I got the Audible version. My favorite way to learn when the narrator's good is to listen to it on Audible and then to go back and do the Kindle version and make my highlights and make my notes, right? Because I don't have to read the whole thing again. I just listen to it. I get to kind of skim but find those pieces again. And I wanted to do some real work. He asked some really good questions and I started thinking about it, so I wanted to go do the work. But one of the things that I'm going to give you a couple of quotes, and then I want to dig into one thing in particular. I won't be on here long, I promise. But he's talking about just us not having the life that we say we want, and it's really hit home for me. And I know it's going to hit home for some of you. He said, it's little wonder that those big dreams of yours seem nigh impossible, given how challenging you've made it just to get out of bed in the morning. I mean, really? Boom! I was like, oh shit, that's me, right? So think about that for a minute. Think about, and if you already have the exact life you want, more fucking power to you, and I'm so excited for you. I'm not there yet, right? And I'm not going to come on here and pretend like I am to all of you. That's bullshit, okay? I am still figuring things out. And I'm like, oh, that's so great. Like, no wonder I don't have these amazing dream things that I want, because I've just said it's hard to get out of bed in the morning. Or I've said that it's hard to work out every day, or it's whatever, right? We have, and the other thing that he says is, hang on, let me find it. Oh shit, I didn't highlight this one. Bottom line is, he's like, we've reduced our lives to these piddly little tasks, and that's our challenge for the day, right? And so something else that he said a little bit later on was, just P.S. as a side note, here's another great quote. This is why I love him so much. When it comes down to it, no one can seriously fuck up your life quite as magnificently as you can. And you do. Now, I don't look at any of this as self-deprecating. I'm not going to get down about it. I'm not going to get depressed about it. I need to acknowledge it because it's fucking true. And then I can start to dig into what the work that I can do to reverse that, to rewire the neural pathways, to get my subconscious focused on a different goal, right? Which, as a little spoiler alert, a lot of this comes back down to something else I've talked about, which is your brain is wired for survival, right? And what keeps you alive is what is safe and known and predictable. And he talks about that, okay? But that's something that I've talked about too, so I love hearing that reinforced, okay? It's what's safe and what's known. Anything that is new, it requires risk. And if it's new and it requires risk and it requires growth, that's going to be uncomfortable and very potentially painful, and you have to have risk. That's not safe. So the subconscious wins over 99.9% of the time, right? Because survival wins, okay? But my favorite thing that he said, and this makes me so good. He's talking about categories, right? And how we've kind of boxed ourselves, some of us, into categories. And he starts with procrastination. And I've said I'm a procrastinator for a long time. I now say I'm a recovering procrastinator and pressure addict. I've still got some work to do. And that's because one of my coaches at one point, Kim Argent Singer, I was like, no, but I thrive under pressure. Like, I flourish. I get shit done. And her response was, okay, cool. So you're saying that works for you. Let me ask you this. Are you where you want to be? And I was like, no, fuck. And well, if you're not where you want to be, then can we agree that it doesn't work? Damn it. Yes. Okay. But I've been like this most of my life, where I wait to the last minute to do shit. And he talks about that too. Like, you talk about it works for me. But this is what I love that he says. There is no such thing as a procrastinator. It doesn't exist. It is a descriptive term There is only someone who procrastinates from time to time and with certain things. This is where I laughed so hard I snorted in the car. We all poop from time to time too, but you don't refer to yourself as a pooper, do you? Hello everyone, my name's Sharon, and I'm a pooper. How freaking true is that though? Therefore, it's not a case of I am a procrastinator, something you are, but rather I procrastinate, which is something you do. And if it's just something do, then you should do another thing instead. This isn't some personal condition or affliction or something you have. It's not a fucking disease. I love all of that. And maybe it's not procrastination for you. But if you are not where you want to be in one or all aspects of your life, what is something that you say about yourself that is not who you are? It's just something that you do. And I love that because that little shift, if I am not a procrastinator, but sometimes I procrastinate, that is so much. Man, y'all, I'm like, okay, I can work on that. I can address that because I haven't just assigned it as who I am and you can't change who I am, blah, blah, blah. No, I procrastinate. Cool. So if it's something that I do, that means it is actually physically possible for me to do something else. That's simple. I didn't say easy. I said simple. Right? To whereas if it's like, well, that's just who I am, which is an excuse so many of us use and it's bullshit. And I say that because I've used it. Well, that's just who I am. Is it? No, that's something that I do. Right? I'm like, well, I am confrontational by nature. That's just who I am. No. Sometimes I respond to and create confrontations. Okay? Anyway, I just got super fired up about this book, as you can see. And I really too, like, I love that we have this safe space, right? And I want to thank you, whether you're watching now, you're watching on replay, whatever it is, the ability to hop onto a live, to talk to you guys, to be open, to be honest, to be vulnerable, to be transparent, to be authentic. That's just so freaking crucial and key, right? Because by me sharing this with you, it starts to create a new level of accountability for me, right? I'm also getting out there and going, this is where I'm at. And I know I've got some work to do. Hopefully it inspires somebody else to go, okay, I have some work to do too. Like, y'all, I'm so far from perfect. It's not even a joke, right? We all are. Perfection is an illusion. That shit doesn't exist. So if you're striving for that, you will be striving for something that is unattainable for the rest of your life, right? That's meant to be an inspiring thing, not a disappointing or depressing thing. So, is there a category that you've given yourself that you can turn into it's not who I am, it's something I do, and I can do something different? Is that possible for you? Right? And if it is, like, jump on it. And then the other thing I'd love for you to take away is, what is it? What's a small daily, like, really piddly bullshit little thing in your life that you're branding as a challenge when really it's just something you need to do differently? So again, for me, and I'm just going to reference it again, he talks about, is it a wonder that all those dreams seem so impossible or unattainable when you're making it a challenge to get out of bed on time or early every day? And that really hits home for me. How am I going to sit here and say I want all of these amazing epic things if I'm talking about it's hard for me to get up at 7 a.m.? If y'all don't know, I really like to stay up super late and sleep late, and that's not the multimillionaire version of myself. The multi-million-dollar version of myself is not only getting up earlier, but is happy to do so because of how many hours it puts back into my day. Because that's when it allows me to take care of myself, to work out, to do my quiet times, do my journaling, read. I love to read. I'm not reading as much as I want to be, right? Engage in my own education. That's what I love. That's when I'm happy. So when I get to take care of all of that, and then I sit down and I pour myself into you guys, right? So if that's the multi-million-dollar version of myself, then why am I not doing more of that? So feel free to check in with me, call me out on this, because tomorrow I am getting up. My ultimate goal is 6, but my realistic goal for tomorrow, because I know I'm still going to stay late because I got to re-switch my sleep cycle, right? I got to get real tired at first, is I have to be up by 7 tomorrow. And when I say up, I mean the fuck out of bed. Because if you know me, you know that waking up and getting out of bed, 2 very different things, right? I really need to be waking up by 6 so that I can be out of bed by 7. I like 45 minutes to an hour to just awaken naturally and organically. So that changes tomorrow. It just does. It just does. It has to, right? It has to. Because I refuse to continue being okay with where I'm at right now and being okay with not having achieved all the things I want to achieve yet. I won't achieve them all tomorrow. But if I can't get the fuck out of bed at a decent time, what I consider to be a decent time, right? That impacts that little teeny tiny decision to hit snooze or to not go to bed or to not turn off my phone at night and go to sleep earlier. I can see how much it has self-sabotaged so many things. And it ends, right? Hope you all are having a wonderful start to your week. Thank the Lord it is starting to warm up. Tons of people that have been without power and water are finally getting that back. I hope that you're doing well. I hope you're staying safe. And I will be back tomorrow for our 4 o'clock live, 4 p.m. CST, Central Standard Time. And that's all I got. Go do badass things. Love you, mean it. Later.